tell you a little bit about myself. I've been coaching now for 6 years, one-to-one coaching and running workshops. And I qualified about 6 years ago. I'm going to be doing a couple of exercises with you, so if you're up for it and you want to work in pairs, then please do so. You can still do it on your own, that'll be fine. But please be comfortable about what you disclose to each other. Obviously, if it's a business or personal issue, it might be something close to your heart. So treat each other confidentially as well as what you disclose yourself. So today what I'm going to be talking about is motivational behaviour. So finding out what your motivational driver is and how that impacts on you and your business. It comes from transactional analysis, which came about in the 60s and 70s. And it's a psychology for looking at your behaviour and how that makes you think and operate. And what I'm going to concentrate on today is the time management aspects of that. So what sucks up all your time, how can you learn to prioritise, what can you do that's important to you, and how to spend your time more effectively. So what I'd like to do first of all is look at this statement, and there's handouts out if you want to look at it on this, and just pick out which statement that you think you most identify with. And just put a tick next to the one that you think, yeah, that's more me than all the others. So there might be some statements where you can identify with more than one, but just try and, for the purpose of this exercise, just think of one. Obviously, to find out what your motivational driver is in an in-depth way, there's quite an involved questionnaire to fill in, which I do as well. So if you're interested in that, come see me afterwards and we can talk about that. So for now, has everyone picked their statement? So what I'd like you to do now is just change the person you're next to, and if you want to work in pairs, that's fine. If you want to stay on your own, that's okay as well. Working in pairs, and I'll give you 3 minutes each, and I'll tell you when to swap over. Discuss the statement that you've chose and think of a situation where you think that really makes an impact on you time-wise. So think of a work situation, business situation, and I've put some post-it notes around. If you can put one scenario or situation on a post-it note and then pass them forward, if you can do at least one each, and I'll give you 3 minutes from now. Okay, if you've wrapped that up, if you've got any post-its, if you can pass them forward for me, and I'll collect them in. Now, at the back of the handout, I've put an action plan. So if there's any insights or actions that you want to take during this seminar, just write those down at the back. So what I'm going to take you through is the 5 main motivational drivers, which are listed here. So the first one is the Be Perfect driver. This is quite obvious in someone that's trying to get everything 100% right, but they're trying to overdo it. So they're working to extremely high standards, usually their own standards, not everybody else's. So they're always doing more than people expect them to do. Obviously, this is good for really detailed regulatory work where you need, really high quality. So that's a good point. But these people might find it hard to delegate if they're trying to get everything perfect all the time. So that's something to spot. The second driver is the please others driver. And this is where people's own needs aren't being met because they're so busy trying to please everybody else. So a very obvious one is mothers that are always putting all their family before them. So, they're at the bottom of the pecking order. But the bad thing about this is you can very easily lose focus because you're trying to please everybody else and you're not doing what your own needs are. Your time is taken up a lot with other people. So it's getting that balance right. Next driver is the Be Strong driver, and this is where people are not expressing their emotions very well, so people have a very hard time of finding out what these people need. They're very good at coping with a lot of things, but because they think they can cope with everything, they don't ask for help, usually until it's the last minute. And I know about this one because I used to have a Be Strong driver. Now the good thing about these drivers is that you're not just one and that's it, you can't change. You can learn about what these drivers mean, what they're doing to you, And then with some antidotes, which I'll talk about later, you can then put things that will trigger and remind you about these behaviours, and you can change them. And I've coached people that have changed their drivers quite dramatically just by putting these techniques in place. The next driver is the hurry up driver, and this is the person that's rushing madly from one thing to the next. And these people find it very hard to slow down because they're always rushing. They might not put enough contingency time in to finish everything off. Good thing about these people are they're very active and they want to start things immediately. So if you've got an idea, you know, they're the people that, oh yeah, this is a good idea, let's get it done now. So there are good sides to it as well. And the last driver is the try harder driver. Now this is all about putting the maximum effort into everything. So it's not so much about what this person might be achieving, it's the effort. So the amount of effort is important. The downside is they don't like to give in with things. So if you've come across somebody that's reading a book and they keep saying, well, this is a really bad book, but I've got to finish it, you know, they won't put it down. They just don't know when to give in to things. It does mean that they then don't enjoy things that they're doing because they're kind of driven to just do things to actually achieve them. They might not be enjoying them.